Good morning, sir. Mr. Sutherland, coming up to the podium, please. All the way up to the podium. Mr. Sutherland, may I have your full name, please?
Nathan Darcy Sutherland,
And your date of birth?
3/31/1982.
Counsel?
Morning, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Yigal Cohen for the state, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Morning, Your Honor. Dave Gregan on behalf of Mr. Sutherland.
And counsel, do you intend to represent Mr. Sutherland through the process or just for today's hearing?
Through the process at this point, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will not appoint an attorney. Mr. Sutherland, you're here on one count sex assault, a Class 2 felony, one count child or vulnerable adult abuse, a Class 2 felony. The court is not appointing an attorney. Your next court date will be January 30th at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. I do have attorneys here that wish to be heard on release conditions. I'm going to start with the state and then turn to your attorney. Counsel?
Your Honor, thank you. The state is asking for a $500,000 cash bond. The charges in this case are very serious. The defendant sexually assaulted a very vulnerable adult who had no capacity to resist, no capacity to cry out, no capacity to do anything other than be subject to what the defendant did to her. This is a crime that requires mandatory prison, and this is a case where the state will be not resolving it for anything less than mandatory prison. The state would also request that HIV and STI testing be ordered.
I'm not sure that I can order that at this stage, counsel.
Okay. Making that request.
All right. From counsel?
Thank you, Judge. In regards to Mr. Sutherland, Judge, he's been a resident and lived in Arizona since 1993. He is without any prior record, whether it be misdemeanor or felony. He has family here, including younger ones. There is no direct evidence that Mr. Sutherland has committed these acts. I know at this point there is DNA. Mr. Sutherland will have a right and have his own DNA expert as well. We don't know the specifics yet, but the evidence is minimum. He is without prior criminal record. He's employed. He has lived here for a sufficiently long period of time. We would ask you to set an unsecured bond, or in the alternative, a reasonable bond of $10,000 to $50,000.
Thank you. Mr. Sutherland, the court, based on everything I have reviewed and what I've heard this morning, the court is inclined, or is going to order, rather, a cash-only bond of $500,000 with electronic monitoring. If you post this bond, the bracelet will be put on your ankle prior to your release from jail. You will be on house arrest. That means that you may only leave your home during the hours approved by your pretrial officer. Additionally, if you post this bond, sir, you're not to return to the alleged scene of the crime. Do not initiate or have any physical contact with any alleged victim. Do not initiate any contact with any alleged complainant, witness, or arresting officer. Do not possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do not possess or consume any alcohol. Don't drive a vehicle without a valid driver's license, and make sure you provide proof of your local address to the court. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Counsel?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sutherland, please step to your right so that you can sign for your conditions. That concludes the 11 o'clock calendar. The court will stand in recess until 2 p.m.